Okay, so this is our polycule. This is everybody, okay? We also have 2 kids, but we don't show them on TikTok. Okay, so me and Kyle have been together for 8 years. Been poly the whole time, okay? Me and Kyle are in a triad with Kit. We have been together, the 3 of us, for 3 years. We have 1 child together, and she's 5. Oh, we don't show the kids on TikTok, though. Okay, so me and Kyle, and Kyle, and Kit, we're triad, okay? I started dating Sam, Kit started dating Katie, and then just about a little over a month ago, we moved everyone in together. So everyone lives in the same house now. We all live together. Also, I should have definitely done this at the beginning, but pronouns, mine are she, her, he, him, they, them, they, he, and Kyle's are he, him. Also, Sam has a son who also moved in. So total, there are 5 adults, 2 kids, 2 dogs, 11 cats.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some potentially good news, as Republicans have introduced a bill in Congress to ban TikTok. And this is news because unlike other bills that get introduced to Congress that basically fall by the wayside, you never hear about them again, there's actually a decent chance that this bill may get some traction because there is some bipartisan support in Congress for banning TikTok. Even Biden's FCC commissioner came out and said that the administration was looking into banning the app because of the fact that China owns the app and basically they're using it to spy on Americans. Take a look.
Commissioner Brendan Carr. So we had Mike Gallagher, a congressman from Wisconsin, on a little bit ago, and he and Senator Marco Rubio yesterday, I believe, at least I read it yesterday, have introduced legislation, or will be, to ban TikTok. You agree. Why do you think we should ban TikTok?
Yeah, I think it's a very smart move. At the end of the day, TikTok is China's digital fentanyl. A lot of people look at TikTok and they think it's just a fun application for sharing dance videos or other funny videos, but that's just the sheep's clothing. Underneath of it, it operates as a very sophisticated surveillance app. Again, it's not the videos, but it's pulling everything from search and browsing history, potentially keystroke patterns, biometrics, including face prints and voice prints. And up to now, we've been told by TikTok officials, don't worry, all this is stored in the U.S. or stored outside of China. But this summer, there was a blockbuster story that said internal communications from TikTok showed that everything is seen back in China. And that's a big risk for, 4 or 5 different reasons, including espionage and other activity. And really, every week, there's a new shoe that drops in this story. There's another report that officials in ByteDance, the parent in Beijing, are attempting to surveil the location of specific Americans through this application. So there's real serious dangers here. So in that 60 Minutes clip, you saw that China only allows people to be on TikTok for 40 minutes a day. So I recently read in the Washington Post that some people, mostly younger girls, women, teenagers, are on the TikTok app for over 8 hours a day. And I just wonder, how then do you ban it if, as my friend says, the world is run by teenage girls? Look, it's to your point, the application, the version of it that is shown in China is very, very different than the one here. And here, they're doing things like displaying the blackout challenge specifically to a 10-year-old girl. This was alleged in a court case, and that girl ended up strangling herself to death. So we're seeing very different content. So the process right now is this is at the Treasury Department, the Biden administration's Treasury Department, a process called CFIUS, Committee on Foreign Investment. And they've been for a year or so now looking at whether they can find a path forward to allow TikTok to continue to operate consistent with national security. And my view is, given the lack of trust that we have right now in TikTok, that this is a basic IQ test for the administration. I don't see a path forward technically where we can assure ourselves that the data isn't going to flow back to China, and similarly that they're not going to use the algorithm for foreign influence campaigns here. So I agree with Senator Rubio, with Gallagher, and it's bipartisan. Mark Warner, a Democrat leader of the Senate Intel Committee, has said that it is TikTok that scares the dickens out of them. And yet there are a lot of people that are using it to try to influence politics here in the United States as well. American candidates are. Take a look at the clip from just this past couple weeks.
I'm looking for a yellow bone, long hair star, thick in the hips, come get, and my thick in the hips, come get. And
Monday night, and here's what's happened.
B,
What are you doing under my desk?
Well, under the desk is kind of my thing. I mean...
Yeah, but here's the thing. You can stay for now, but when it comes time to voting, you're going to have to get up.
So I show those videos because there are Democrats who have figured out a way, like maybe we ought to be on TikTok so we can actually get young people engaged. And the youth vote was way up across the country in this past midterm election. So I wonder if there will be reluctance, not just from the teenage girl contingent, but from people who say, well, look, it's free speech. We should allow people to make their own decisions. What do you think of that?
Well, Dan, if you could ban an application based on cringe factor alone, I think those videos that you just showed would be evidence enough that we should turn the page on TikTok. The interesting thing to me is when you have all these politicians on TikTok, if you ask them, do you put it on your phone, do you put it on your device? They say, oh, of course not. We use burner devices. We send it to other phones to post it. And I think that's an admission right there. If you're not willing to have it, for instance, in the White House, which is the case, then I think it's very concerning that you're on it and then encouraging other people to be on it without using burner devices and all those other special protections that you deem necessary for yourself.
And
all right, guys, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, those are some strong words from the FCC commissioner. However, he doesn't have any direct power in order to ban the app. That is going to have to come through an act of Congress in which they can try to stick this legislation in the national security bill that they pass like basically every year, the national defense bill, national defense budget. Or they could try to do it as a standalone bill, which I would much rather prefer. And that is the advantage of having a Republican-controlled Congress. Republicans say that they're going to focus on China, okay? If they take back the House, which it looks like they will, the Senate is more of a toss-up. They're going to focus on China. And I think that it would be an opportunity for Republicans to show the American people where the Biden administration stands on China, considering how we all think that Biden is bought and sold by China. Okay, if he refuses to ban this app, then that will tell us that he's in bed with China, that he's totally fine with China spying on American citizens, specifically teenagers and young girls, right? Influencing a whole generation of people. Even China won't allow their citizens to be on TikTok for an extended amount of time. Why in the world should we allow it for hours? It is poison, okay? It is poisoning children. There's all types of stuff coming out of TikTok that I cover almost on a daily basis on my channel that is bad for our culture. It is one of the reasons why this culture war that we're fighting is so important and why it's so hard to fight, because you have apps like TikTok that is just filled with garbage influencing young people, okay? They're making them overwhelmingly liberal, overwhelmingly progressive. This is why all these kids are getting into the whole LGBTQ thing when it comes to thinking that they are born in the wrong body, that they're not the right gender. Some people will think that they have multiple personalities, okay, that there are multiple people at one time. Okay, this is happening to kids, okay? They think they have a mental illness being on the app. This is terrible for society. Not only that, is decreasing our attention span, okay? As, I mean, that's just something that's happening in social media in general. It's just bad for the brain. It's just bad for society. Now, that in and of itself is not enough to ban it, but when you throw that and the national security threat on top of it, I do think that it should be banned. Now, before I said, the libertarian in me said we shouldn't ban it. I'm not for banning apps, but you know what? This app is not an American app. I mean, at some point, some American company will copy this. YouTube is trying to copy it. Facebook's trying to copy it. Instagram's trying to copy it. I mean, everybody's trying to copy TikTok to a certain extent, so it would be replaced if it was banned anyways. But when you're talking about an app that is owned by a foreign government, it is being used to spy on people, okay? I mean, it could potentially be used to influence politicians. I mean, even the politicians themselves don't use TikTok on their phone, okay? They use it on a burner phone because they know that it's a national security threat. But regardless, they hop on TikTok and they post their political propaganda to try to reach young people, despite knowing that it's a spying app, right? It's a surveillance app. I mean, it's absolutely shameful, right? I mean, this is one of the reasons why I don't really use TikTok. Some people say, well, conservatives should hop on TikTok. And I agree. If it was an American app, conservatives should be hopping on TikTok because that is where a lot of the, culture battle is happening, right? You got to meet the leftists on their own platform and push back against them on their own platforms. We know how much they don't like that. I mean, look at Twitter, right? Look how much they're freaking out about Twitter being a level playing field. But with that being said, me personally, You know, I do have a TikTok, however, I don't actually ever really use it. And one of the reasons why I don't use it is because I know it's a surveillance app. I just don't feel comfortable using an app that I know that the CCP is using to spy on me, right? Or to spy on American citizens. Now, I know I'm not necessarily a person of interest, but I'm just saying it's the principle, which again is why I do believe that this app should be banned. And I would like to see some progress on this legislation, especially if Republicans do take back control of Congress. And if Democrats want to be opposed to it, fine. But we need to make sure that Republicans are letting the American people know that, hey, Democrats are totally fine with China spying on you. Okay, they're totally fine with it. China won't even let their citizens use the app. Now, again, should we be as authoritarian as China when it comes to banning social media apps and censoring, you know, social media companies? No, of course not. But again, there's a difference between an American company running TikTok and a foreign company running the app. They're two different things. We can't have foreign companies essentially spying on American citizens and poison our culture the way that China is doing. It is literally the fentanyl of social media. It is destroying our culture. It is destroying young people, and it's a national security threat. So I think it should be banned. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.